better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you need a wrong or right. You never know.
Hello, Matt. How are you today? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, ready to get into some Dungeons and Dragons goodness.
Goodness. That's optimistic of you. I like to think that more often than not, what we deliver on this podcast, which is Dungeon Master of None, is goodness. But
I'm
we'll see.
confident with new technological innovations, the marketplace of ideas, that there's just going to be a proliferation of really good D&D things.
We all know that the free market has done nothing but deliver the very best of both Dungeons and Dragons content and tabletop role-playing game endeavors. That the free enterprise system has ensured that the cream has indeed risen to the top, and only the finest minds and creators are involved with the creation of games.
That's exactly right. And one of my favorite things is how everyone's job has adapted to lockdown by making them being on Zoom meetings or whatever 9 hours a day, so that they're really ready to play my Zoom meeting game at night.
Exactly. I know that after
Jobs.
After a full day of staring at a screen, staring at my increasingly hideous face in a screen, all I want to do is look at my face and other people's faces some more.
You got to turn off your own face. That's actually a nice life hack.
It's a good life hack.
Other people can see you, but you cannot. It's nice.
You cannot. Yeah, I know that after sitting inside all day, staring at a screen, that my chair forming to the shape of my buttocks, that I just want to sit my ass right back down in that ass-shaped depression and do some more Zoom. You love to see it. You absolutely can't get enough of fucking Zoom.
Well, and because we all have to wear masks for like 9 hours a day, we're both sitting here staring at each other. We're both mustache guys now.
We're now
Rob.
mustached.
I had to get rid of my beard because of the fucking masks. So
I was already mustached, and I considered a pandemic beard, but then of course the mask situation sort of necessitates that you at least vaguely shave. It's a true injustice. The real sufferers here are bearded men.
Yeah,
clearly.
Bearded Americans have suffered a lot, and now, well, at least my students don't have to see my hideous chin. At least no one has to see me in public like this.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got on the docket today, Rob?
We got a couple of things going on. I have a reading series.
Oh,
and this isn't going to be as this is not intended the same way that our first reading series was. This is not meant purely for mockery, but I have something that I think is fascinating and also bizarre and just sort of interesting. This is okay. We'll get into it in a minute, and then after that, I believe you have some ticks or talks to share with me.
I've been delving deeply into the subculture of TikTok Dungeons and Dragons.
I have dipped a toe into TikTok from time to time and found myself upon role-playing game TikTok, D&D TikTok, and, well, we'll talk about it when we get to those TikToks. We'll just see what you have to share with me. But first, let's cast our minds back to, let's see, when was this exactly? September of 1984. It is.
Oh, it's just like Orwell predicted, Rob.
It's just like Orwell predicted. It is the high times of the 80s. The Reagan is president. Everything is glorious. The Soviet Union is on the decline. The free market has proven itself to be superior. Challenger hasn't happened yet. AIDS is crushing all sorts of people, but most people don't know about it, so
okay,
it's fine.
so the number one songs was "What's Love Got to Do with It" by Tina Turner. Great song.
So imagine that there's Tina Turner on the radio, Reagan's wrinkly, skeletal face staring down at you from every television, and you've picked up a copy of Dragon magazine.
Okay, I just went to go see Ghostbusters in the theater. I've come back. I grabbed my copy of Dragon magazine off of the little newspaper stand in the center of Times Square, where Bernard and Bernard are talking about the invasion of Afghanistan of Pakistan by the Soviets, and wondering what's going on in the spatial dimension study place.
Precisely.
Reading my comics about a sinking pirate ship.
And you've got yourself in your hands volume 9, number 4 of Dragon magazine, and you open it up and you're flipping through,
looking at I'm guessing looking at a lot of ads for some really grotesque looking minis and maybe some play by mail games. I'm just guessing.
You would
be
correct.
This. Okay,
you would absolutely be correct. Some real like low effort minis here. Looks like
maybe a Raul Partha ad or two.
It's actually literally. Did you look? Because there is a Raul Partha ad.
I have not looked. I have no idea what article you're reading. I just know my old dragon.
100%. Yeah, a Raul Partha on page 2.
Fuck yeah.
A whole page spread given over to the Dragon Riders of Pern, a mail-in membership. Anyway, you get through your advertisements.
I would love to have a mail-in membership to whatever it is the Dragon Riders of Pern want to give me. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's just the books like in order. You like sign up for this science fiction book club membership, and they send you like anyway.
Yeah, I was on a Dragon Riders and McCaffrey forum for a long time, but Rob, I had to leave because there were just too many threads to keep track of.
Boo! I wonder if any of our listeners are going to get this horrible joke.
What listeners could we have after that? Anyway,
so you get down and you run into your first cerebral article, your meditation.
The thinking person's role-playing gamer.
That's
stuff
right.
Here, yeah, okay.
And it's called "Survival is a Group Effort: The Effects of Population Growth and Regrowth" by Stephen Innes.
What the fuck?
And
wait. So there's a Malthusian article in Dragon magazine.
There is a Malthusian article in Dragon magazine. So listen, as we listen, friends, listeners.
So population growth.
Well, just wait. Bear with me, Matt. Bear with me.
Okay.
Bear with me. We have gotten pretty like deep and nerdy into world building, but I want you to know that as gritty and granular as Matt and I have gotten on this podcast, you have no idea. You have no clue just how deep this particular rabbit hole can go. And so I'm going to cast us back again. This is before Matt and I were born. This is ages ago, and I want you to know what people were thinking about when they were creating and building their advanced Dungeons and Dragons worlds. So I looked up Stephen Innes. I don't actually know who he is. I couldn't figure it out. I don't know what his contributions to D&D are, but let's see what he has to say about the effects of population growth and regrowth.
Okay, all right. I would have never guessed this. Hit me with it.
An advanced Dungeons and Dragons registered trademark game world is usually one of action and tumult. Humanoid armies meet human and demi-human forces regularly in mortal combat.
Well, God, gosh, this sounds so exciting.
Countries are invaded and their inhabitants are killed or driven off. Magical or natural disasters lay waste to large areas at least once every millennium.
Okay.
Monsters hunt travelers in the wilderness and, in turn, are hunted by other monsters or by adventurers. True, there are safe places in the world, but they are usually preserved by force of arms and magic, or because they are isolated and perhaps occupy an undesirable position, such as in the middle of a swamp.
You know, I'm with you. I'm with you so far. Like, I mean, one of the great things of D&D is humans and humanoids are not at the top of the food chain.
That's right.
Okay.
Many of these backwaters are poor lands, where starvation is enemy enough. Immortality is only for the gods, and not even for all of them. This is as it should be, Matt, for an exciting campaign. Adventurers are naturally found with trouble and change. There is, however, the question of replacement. Where do the hordes of humanoids come from? Those that spring up to kill and be killed time and time again. How do the humans and demi-humans make up their inevitable losses?
How do goblins just keep coming out of the woodworks?
What of the other inhabitants of the world, from brownies and beholders to wyverns and wargs? Presumably their populations grow in the same way that populations do in the real world, unless they are somehow spontaneously generated by the natural and supernatural forces that surround them. This has some interesting corollaries.
Okay. I'm gonna try and guess where he gets this corollary from. I'm gonna say, because he's a nerd, he's going to talk about population after the Black Death solely in Europe. Next,
we'll see.
Okay. I mean, is he going to bring up? I'm really curious. Is he going to bring up how the ecosystem of the Underdarks fucking sustains itself?
We bear with me, Matt.
Okay. All right.
The Dungeon Master's Guide contains, on page 13, a table indicating that the human-like races in an AD&D game world grow and develop more or less in proportion to how long they live. I will share this chart with you, with all of you listeners, but it's as you might imagine. A century-old elf is equivalent to a human teenager, while a half-orc is full-grown well before 20 years of age and past the prime of life at 30. Combining this information with that on lifespans for the Monster Manual, the age categories data in the DMG can be expanded to include some of the humanoids. To include some of the humanoids. See the table below.
Okay.
So in the table below, you have bugbears, gnolls, goblins, hobgoblins, kobolds, ogres, and orcs, and all of their various young adult, mature, middle-aged, old, and venerable ranges.
This is very useful if you want to know when an ogre can start collecting social security checks, I suppose.
It is. The proportion of its life that each humanoid spends in the age categories given is based on the proportions given for a half-orc. This should be about right for most of these humanoids, except in the case of kobolds. For reasons to be explained later, they probably reach the young adult stage much sooner than this table indicates. Leaving kobolds aside for the moment...
Okay, I'm glad we're putting those aside, because it's going to be too complicated otherwise.
Look at the figures for gnolls and orcs. A gnoll is ready to reproduce at the age of 7, and an orc at the age of 8. The others are not far behind, with the exception of the two larger creatures.
Is this gonna take a turn to like arguing about age of consent laws by state? Is this
the guy, others are not far behind.
Steve, hold on, man. I don't know.
With the exception of the two larger creatures, bugbears and ogres. This early maturity has important implications for the balance of power and numbers in an AD&D world. Now, Matt, this is when it gets really interesting, so bear with me.
Okay.
The growth potential of a population depends primarily on its generation time, the average period between the birth of a female and the birth of her female offspring. Males are not considered in this calculation since they do not represent the rate-limiting factor in population growth. This means that populations in which females reproduce earlier will grow more quickly. The counterintuitive effect of this is that a population of long-lived but slowly maturing creatures will grow more slowly than a population of short-lived but more quickly maturing ones. For instance, Matt,
I was just gonna say I don't know anything about like biology and like species.
Well, you're gonna learn about it, Matt.
but with humans, that is not necessarily true, right?
Well, Matt.
Okay.
Why don't we see how Stephen Innes gets to his conclusions, and then we can discuss whether or not we think that he's correct. For instance, if a female high elf were to have a child every year of her reproductive life from about 100 to 550 years of age, she would have hundreds of daughters. This is, of course, a ridiculously high number. Aside from the physical strain of these centuries of pregnancies and births, imagine the difficulty of caring for dozens of elven children at the same time. None of them even out of diapers before the age of 10. It might be expected.
Is he going to get into like high elf women are breastfeeding longer in order to delay pregnancy or something weird like that?
Well, okay, so that's part of the crazy thing about this. Like, it makes some assumptions and not others. So, like, if a high elf child doesn't like reach maturity until, you know, for decades, why are we assuming that they are raised in the same way? Like, why do they not have, like, maybe they have elven creches where they're all raised together, or like wet nurses or something like that? Like, why is there an assumption that each high elf female is going to care personally for each of her hundreds of long-lived babies? I mean, Stephen Innes clearly has a mind for exactly like one aspect of this, and you'll see this as we go on.
This is what makes a good world builder, Rob, is to really get focused on one thing and one thing only, and just beat it to death.
It might be expected that with such a huge increase in population per generation, elves would soon outstrip the other humans and demi-humans in number. Actually, okay. Such busy and healthy elves as these would still not increase so quickly as a normal human population can. While the elves steadily increase their numbers year by year and century by century, the humans will have children who will soon have children who will soon have even more children, and the multiplication effect wins out. The mathematical expression of this tendency, well known to ecologists, is R equals the logarithmic function of f over g. I will also include this equation in our show notes.
Right. Okay, so I'm following Steve here so far, right? Is even though a single elf can reproduce more in one lifetime, the sort of compounding logarithmic effects of having children that can then reproduce will outstrip humans, will outstrip elven population. With you so far, Steve.
Where R is the rate of a population's increase over time, F is the number of new females per female in a generation, and G is the generation time.
Yeah.
The log function, or natural logarithm, sometimes written as ln, is found on many calculators these days. Or failing that, in the
wow, what an exciting modern age we lived in 1984. You got an ln button. Sweet.
Or failing that in the back of a mathematics textbook.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can look up the table.
The aforementioned.
Did you ever have to do that? My God.
Yes, I did.
I had a math a year where we had to not use our calculators and use the fucking tables in the back.
Yep, I remember that.
What a nightmare.
I was not good at math. The aforementioned production line elves, according to this equation, would increase in number about 2% every year, doubling their population every 42 years or so.
I understand now why Dungeons and Dragons was just so popular in the 80s, right? How can you compare this to seeing people stream the game today? I mean, this is what people want.
This is basically the first thing in this magazine, by the way. This is like there's the table of contents, there's ads, and then bam. You know, I think there's a letter from the editor, but this is like you're flipping through. This is the first thing you come to. No pictures on this page. This is not this is just straight up the first thing you read.
Holy shit, dude.
To achieve this rate, humans needn't put out nearly so much effort. With early marriage and families of quite modest size, 3 surviving children, they easily outstrip the elves. Orcs could do this even more easily. Of course, a very large change in the number of surviving offspring will have some effect. If the value of F is exactly 1, simple replacement,
right,
the population will remain stable and not grow at all, the phenomenon known as zero population growth. If F falls below 1, the population will actually decrease, in which case the longer-lived species are favored by a slower decline.
I love when someone takes the trouble of writing an equation to express the phenomenon they're talking about, and then just tells you... Why have an equation if you're just going to tell me how it works anyway? We got it from the equation. I guess it's for you normies like you, Rob.
Yeah, so us idiots need it explained to us because we are not mathematicians, like I assume Stephen Innes is. This is a really long article. So I'm going to start skipping around here the best that I can, though each paragraph is full of delightful things like this. So he goes on to say, for instance, it is apparent from the ratio of adult males to females in most humanoid tribes that only half as many females reach maturity as do males. Given the nature of the creatures in question, this may be due to the practice of selective infanticide by male humanoids who are impatient for warrior sons, a practice not unknown in human societies in the real world. The killing of half of the female infants born, while perhaps favorable to the individual males involved, cuts the tribe's growth rate per generation in half, striking directly at the potential childbearers. Its effect on the overall population growth rate...
I gotta interrupt here, and I mean, can't speak for every historical instance, but I have never heard of any historical instance where there is a rate of infanticide selecting by sex at birth that is half of the population. That is insane.
Friends, female infanticide is real and troubling, present and historically. However, at worst, it is nowhere near like half of human females born. Holy shit. Anyway, I don't know if this is like an example or like drawn from some like tables in the book or something like that. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. He talks about dwarves and gnomes also have these problems. It must be admitted that a population's growth potential is not the sole
Wait. So is he implying the fact that he's
not implying anything yet, Matt. He hasn't even come to a point. He's just like talking about population growth right now.
I thought he was implying that the idea that like there are in fantasy art and literature there are less female dwarfs, implying that dwarves from like Tolkien and stuff have a high rate of female infanticide, which is pretty fucking dark.
He says, even though gnomes and dwarves have half as many adult females as males, presumably a natural trait rather than an imposed one.
Okay, so he's saying that like there's a like instead of the 0.52 whatever ratio, it's different.
Right. All right, just naturally
whatever.
So. It must be admitted that a population's growth potential is not the sole predictor of abundance and success. Oaks may take hundreds of times as long to mature as dandelions do, but they can still dominate forests. There are many other factors to consider here, particularly those related to the competitive ability of a species compared to others trying for the ecological niche. Growth rate is highly significant. However, under unstable conditions in which a population must recover from periodic disasters, droughts, forest fires, earthquakes, floods, wars, and other catastrophes, for example, favor a species in which has a short generation time, since it will tend to fill the gaps left by less prolific competitors.
Ah, yes, fill my gaps, please.
In this way, grasses and weeds can dominate an area that is periodically swept by fire, even if they would otherwise be shaded out by taller plants. So now we get to his point, Matt.
Okay.
All of this has particular relevance for the inhabitants of an advanced Dungeons & Dragons game world in which many intelligent species may be in competition for the same real estate. In turbulent times in which most adventurers live, a short generation time can be a great advantage. This is especially true of the human-like species, who may become involved in long-term wars of near genocidal scope, such as those between the gnomes and kobolds, between dwarves and hill giants, and between dwarves and orcs. There's no natural enemies that dwarves have, like dwarves and orcs, dwarves and hill giants, dwarves and other dwarves.
Wow, you dwarves seem like a contentious people.
I'll kill you for that.
You just made an enemy for life. So, I mean, this is a fundamental flaw in systemic thinking, Rob, in that, right, okay, it's interesting to study living creatures through the discipline of evolution and evolutionary science of, how evolution works, how populations work. The problem is, under the AD&D rules, all of these species have the capability of language and cultural evolution, cultural learning, right? And you're stuck in the wrong system. It's not that evolution goes away. It's just not the only system, and definitely not the most important system. I see this all the time with like popular pop history books that look at actual human history in the time where we have language. You know, humans haven't always had language, right? You know, obviously it was developed at some time, right? But it's been around for a fucking long time, right? And beyond language, we have, even more complicated systems. States, capitalism, writing, right? And when you forget about those and treat, something like the rise of the West based on evolutionary psychology or something like that, you get the shittiest takes of all time. Anyway,
so I hope you're ready for more of those.
God damn it.
So he says, on the whole, the conclusions that can be drawn from the above information mesh surprisingly well with the campaign backgrounds of most advanced Dungeons and Dragons games worlds. And he mentions like Greyhawk and etc. Blah, blah, blah. Demi-humans are more commonly found in relative backwaters like forests and hills where the conditions are politically stable because of the difficulty of invading such territory. Naturally, this is most notable in the slowly maturing elves and gnomes. Dwarves are more likely to be found in the mainstream. Blah, blah, blah. The conflict between humans and demi-humans is traceable to more than just alignment differences. Perhaps coincidentally, it is a conflict between two very different life strategies. Like insects and rodents, humanoids depend primarily on their short generation times for survival. They are natural colonists. If lands are emptied by war or pestilence, they will fill them up quickly and be firmly entrenched by the time otherwise superior competitors arrive. Demi-humans, on the other hand, are superior in almost every field of species competition except reproduction. They are generally more intelligent, are more willing to help one another, have more special skills, and produce more powerful and unique individuals than the humanoid races do. Demi-humans thrive under conditions of peaceful competition. Unfortunately, such high-quality material cannot be replaced quickly. Over time, humanoids are favored by conditions of cataclysm and violent confrontation, which by their very natures humanoids tend to bring about.
Okay.
Matt, what do you think about that section?
Well, there's some real bullshit here because we do have in human history a look at different
are you suggesting
subspecies. But we know that it has nothing to do with, or very little to do with, generational time. Human beings, right, in the real world are, not, I don't think natural colonists, but absolutely amenable to migrating to new places. And we know that this burst of migration happened after the development of language, right? And the ability to pass on learning throughout the generations. It has nothing to do with our generational time.
Are you suggesting that humans are not biologically and evolutionarily driven
Destined?
to inhabit every possible space, and that if they choose, that they absolutely cannot choose not to do so? There is nothing, there's no agency involved in
it's just the fact that that logarithmic equation comes out that we have to colonize Hawaii on our little outrigger canoes. That's the only reason that happened.
Listen, if there's a gigantic murderous war between humans and elves and then all of a sudden there's an empty forest, listen, it's just simple math, Matt. The humans are just gonna like chop it down and move in. There's literally nothing that they're just gonna do it. It's just math, Matt.
That's right. That's why scientists right now are very close to being able to simulate all of human experience in history with a simple computer program. It's like playing Dwarf Fortress, but easier.
All right, so he goes on to sort of like beat this point to death. He compares the contest between demi-humans and humanoids as that between a fighter and a troll. The troll's wounds heal in minutes, while the opponent must wait days or weeks. So the fighter has to hit harder to defeat the troll, right? Otherwise, the troll will just regenerate. This is a beautiful...
Humans are a disease, Leo. Right? Mr. Anderson. Right. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Humanoid societies that are guided by superior leaders are generally more prominent than those not possessing the same characteristic.
Okay.
This
Well, I
prominence...
wasn't expecting a little bit of a Whiggish big man history. Okay.
Don't worry. This prominence may be due to more than good military generalship. It may have to do more with the fact that an intelligent commander can see, with no calculations, that more warriors will ultimately be raised if female children are spared. If he is so foresighted and can enforce penalties against infanticide, the reproductive power of a humanoid tribe is greatly increased. This is itself a more terrible weapon than any strategy or spell that could be employed on the battlefield. With sufficient food, a humanoid army can be raised almost overnight in relative terms and unleashed upon opponents before they are aware of their predicament. It is
if we only had a brilliant general to enforce deep-seated cultural norms, which don't exist, by the way, that I made up. Right, okay.
It is interesting to note that hobgoblins do not have the characteristic...
Always start your sentences with, it is interesting to note. It's just very good.
The hobgoblins do not have the characteristic shortage of females found among other humanoids. This may be due to the greater intelligence of their leaders. An enigma concerning dragons is neatly explained by generation time effects, namely, why dragons have not overrun a world that is, from their point of view, one large hunting ground. Hundreds of humans and other short-lived creatures might die before the elimination of a single dragon, but each dragon lost is a serious blow to the next generation of their kind. By the time a replacement is full-grown, the dragon's opponents will have long ago recovered their losses. It is not at all surprising that dragons tend to live in out-of-the-way places and guard their offspring as zealously as they do their gold. The next section is on undead, and...
Oh, okay.
I guess I should read this because it's just bizarre. Though the undead do not reproduce in the normal way, some are able to propagate themselves by attacking living creatures. In this, they have the equivalent of a very short generation time, potentially as short as a few days or even minutes. This opens up some interesting possibilities. A vampire with its minions might be able to take over a whole village before news of the deed spread to the outside world. If the vampire were a particularly ambitious one, rescuers might arrive to find the place deserted, its inhabitants having left to find more food. Whole nations of undead might arise in this way. This ability explains in part how vampires, specters, and the like can survive despite their vulnerability to such things as clerics, holy water, and sunlight. Fortunately, the undead are sharply limited in their potential for expansion. Once the supply of victims runs out or runs away, a group of undead creatures can grow no further.
Okay, so undead are, I don't know why he didn't bring up, since he's doing all this ecology shit, a virus, right? You don't want to have a virus that's so deadly it wipes out your host.
You've already
but it's also, these are all intelligent undead.
You've already made like several inferences and logical leaps of things you might discuss or talk about if you had any other context besides math. But Stephen Innes he clearly has not read anything about anything that is not a Dungeons & Dragons book or a math textbook, because he is clearly not able to think of vampires as a virus or draw the conclusion, regarding the Black Death or any number of other things. He has no context aside from the logarithmic function from which all things descend, right?
World building is a multidisciplinary process, I think is what this is illustrating.
The next section is on lycanthropes, which he draws basically the same conclusion from, and he concludes that an interesting alternative hypothesis is that lycanthropy is a fairly recent addition to one's fantasy world and is spreading quickly. This is the only way for him to sort of explain how lycanthropy, how everyone is not a lycanthrope based on his, again, math. All right, so we'll get to his conclusions.
Again, let's cast aside the fact that it might be fun to have a nation of undead or a continent of lycanthropes, but okay, whatever.
Yeah. By taking generation time into account, a DM can develop additional background information for a campaign. Most large and otherwise dangerous creatures probably have long maturation times and possibly long lives to match, though low fertility and high mortality might play their parts. Similarly, small and weak creatures with no other significant defenses probably mature quickly. Thus, giants of all sorts are probably long-lived and slow to mature in proportion to their size, while Zvarts probably grow as quickly as goblins. The few creatures specifically described as quick to mature but relatively powerful must have very low fertility or high mortality rates, or both. A good example of these last would be quicklings. See Monster Manual 2.
Yeah.
With a generation time like theirs, the increase per generation must be very low in order for them to stay rare. Perhaps this is due to high-speed crashes.
Is this Steve's equivalent of a joke?
It's a joke. It's a joke. Steven has now introduced. Give it a go. In a few cases.
Here's my prediction. He's going to reach the end of this article and he's going to say, based on, evolution stuff, the only logical fantasy world is one that is all green slime. No other living creatures besides green slime.
No, the thing is, though, Matt, he's starting with a conclusion and then he's working backwards.
Oh,
right?
okay, right. The conclusion is the regular fantasy world.
The conclusion is that the D&D world is perfectly created and makes absolute sense. So how do we fit the hypothesis to match that, right? In a few cases, the conclusions arrived at via the generation time argument seem to contradict official game information or deductions that one may take from the rulebook. Despite the figures given for kobolds in the age categories table, it seems that they probably reach maturity as quickly as other humanoid species do, instead of following the pattern of the demi-human races, as their lifespan of 135 years seems to imply that they do. Certainly, they need the advantage of a short generation time since they have few other survival advantages. They might reasonably be expected to reach young adulthood before the age of 10, and then go on to long reproductive lifespans as well. Their ability to lay eggs may enable them to have more young more often as well. So you see, as soon as something doesn't match his conclusions, he's like, well, what else might explain
they're lizards. They're little lizard dogs. Rats.
He does some more of this, talks about why it makes sense that demi-humans have exactly the right size of families to reach the conclusions that he comes to. It is likely that the behavior of AD&D game characters will be influenced by generational time effects. Paladins, for instance.
Is it likely?
No. Matt, listen.
Okay, all right.
Paladins, for instance, might not be reluctant to destroy the apparently harmless females and young in a humanoid lair. In fact, such an action might well be regarded as a holy duty to prevent the further spread of evil in the world.
Is this whole article Steve got in an argument with his party after his paladin killed a bunch of kobold babies or something? Oh, now we've gotten to the heart of it. Oh my god.
So yeah. I'm sorry. It's just so fucking funny.
They got into this argument and Steve comes back with this footnoted thing and he's got his new TI calculator.
He brings out a chalkboard and he's like, listen.
Fuck you, Dave. I was right.
Look at this equation, right? This is the equivalent to killing one human female, so it's fine. I massacred an entire den of baby goblins, but look, anyway. Okay.
And that's what, in conclusion, that's why you have to give me my paladin powers back without an atonement spell.
Rangers might also demonstrate strong feelings on the subject. To a lesser extent, so might demi-humans of most alignments.
I have a hard time that I don't think Steve has ever had a strong feeling in his life. I feel like, sorry, Steve, if you're still out there and a real person. You seem very passionateless. There's no passion, Steve.
It'd be really funny if Steve was one of our listeners. Good characters in general are provided with a more satisfactory motive than greed or immediate necessity in their forays against evil monsters. The more prolific ones, such as humanoids, must be cut back. The less prolific monsters might be eliminated entirely, or at least so reduced in number that they will not trouble the world for centuries to come. So, listen, Matt, genocide. It's justified. It's justified because if the evil creatures if their offspring, look, it's just math, Matt. It's just math. They will proliferate and overrun the world. So really, by genociding goblins and kobolds and orcs and ogres, you're doing the world a favor, Matt.
Yeah, I didn't know Steve was a member of like a 1920s eugenics society here.
Well, like,
I mean, this is where you're always going to end up, I suppose.
Part of the reason why I wanted to read this is like, this is like one of the like uncomfortable things about having like races the way that they exist in Dungeons and Dragons in the first place, like having them so clearly delineated. Like you follow this train of thought, quote unquote, logically, right? And you get to the conclusion, well, if we don't murder all the orcs, they're going to reproduce at a rate that will, like, you know, overrun the world. And that's why it's really fucked up. Like, that's why, like, it's not just like woke nonsense to not want like racial ability scores. Like you like think about it enough and you get into weird race science stuff. Like, yeah, anyway,
like, how have nerds in Dragon magazine, again, I'm going to say a magazine for just people who play Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games, independently reinvent eugenics.
Right. Exactly. And like, this is also the problem with having like evil races. You're like, well, all orcs are evil. Well, one, that's fucking dumb as shit. And two, well, I guess you'd better murder their babies, right? Like, here's the thing, like, I'm trying to imagine like an animal that's like savage and evil enough that like it's justified like murdering their offspring. Like, I don't know, like maybe like wasps or something, but like even like, you know, in real life, there's like very few situations like where something like this bloodthirsty and ruthless makes sense at all. Like it's totally like there's like no creature that is like so purely like evil. But like if your DM's guide says, all right, orcs are evil, goblins are evil, like what conclusion are you supposed to draw except, well, we'd better murder their women and children because they're evil, right? Like what I mean, that's fucked up, but like what other conclusion are you supposed to draw? Sorry, let me get to the end of this.
What do you have against wasps?
They don't serve no purpose. Or mosquitoes is maybe like a better example. Like, okay. I don't know.
All right. You're talking about the insects wasps, right? Not like the people who hold power in traditional American society.
I mean the insects. Sorry.
We have it's hard to tell
both.
Oh god. All right.
I'm just kidding. Ambitious characters of evil alignment will often associate with or make use of humanoids. Since humanoids are easy to replace and are not particularly bright, they make ideal cannon fodder. This is in quotation marks. There are no cannons in fantasy, Matt. But the principle is the same. Wizard fodder might be a better term. I'm sorry. This is fucking dumb as shit. I hate this. I hate that, like, I'm sorry, you dumb fucking nerd, Steve. The, like, medieval, like, oeuvre, which, D&D is set in, cannons absolutely did exist, all right? They fucking had bombards for plenty of years just because they didn't show up. You fucking dumb. This actually makes me angrier than anything else.
Angrier than the race science?
I hate this, like, dumb, like, anti, like, firearms thing that has always existed. Like, I don't necessarily want my players to have guns, but the fact that they exist doesn't like change a fantasy world. I'm sorry. Anyway, he says wizard fodder might be a better term. It is plain to any
Second joke.
It is plain to any evil character that the power of humanoids is ascendant, and it is foolish not to use such power. A bold and intelligent individual, slave to no morality or scruples, can ride the humanoid tide to victory, guiding and controlling it and reaping the rewards.
Interesting choice of word, right? Tide, you know.
Personal like or dislike for humanoids has nothing to do with the matter, since the important thing is to be on the winning side and in control. If relationships with humanoids include hate and fear, so much the better. Such emotions add spice to an otherwise bland and businesslike arrangement. This point of view may be shared by evil humans and demi-humans alike. The drow, who would be willing to expend cheap humanoid lives in place of their own, are a case in point. I wonder a little bit about whether or not Stephen himself experiences emotions. The way that he talks about them seems very clinical.
Is he finally going to get into the fact that the Underdark, ecosystem is just a little confusing? Like, there's some cool mushrooms down there, but eventually you're going to need some energy from the sun.
No, Matt, I'm very sorry to say that the rest of this is just given over to
If any of our listeners have a good explanation of Underdark ecology, I know there's one out there, right? How do all those little, underground yaks survive? You can only farm mushrooms for so long.
Right. He concludes that evil characters would sacrifice people and be contemptuous of demi-humans because they are being out-competed by faster reproducing humanoids. From a druid's viewpoint, there's nothing wrong with humanoids as such, except that, like weeds in the garden, they must be periodically rooted out and cut back, lest they threaten the balance of neutrality with their numbers. The more dangerous creatures, such as evil dragons, must be kept rare because of their destructive tendencies. Such corrective action is not needed with demi-humans, since they are less destructive of field and forest and are unlikely to threaten the balance with uncontrolled expansion. Other neutral characters may share the druid's point of view, though they may be more strongly influenced by considerations of personal gain. Certainly they will deal with humanoids if this is expedient, but in general the more foresighted persons will act to preserve their neighbors and associates of good alignment in preference to evil ones. This is not altruism. It is simply more pleasant and profitable to deal with well-meaning and uncommon peoples than with numerous and aggressive ones. In general, halflings, elves, or humans of good alignment are easier to live with than ogres or goblins. Unless they think the demi-humans and their allies have no chance, neutral characters will probably support them in interracial conflicts. The effects of Generation Time can be as far-reaching in an imaginary world as they are in the real one. If a DM chooses to take them into consideration, they can go a long way toward providing a more detailed and plausible campaign background. That's it.
God! Is that the end?
That is the end of this article by Stephen Innes on the effects of Generation Time on fantasy worlds.
Well, I'm glad I came to your TED Talk. It was about as racist as most TED Talks. I would put it like above most evolutionary psychology TED Talk, or sorry, below most evolutionary psychology TED Talks, slightly above TED Talks supporting microloans to the third world.
It was not explicitly genocidal or racist or Malthusian or eco-fascist, but it basically went right up to the line and encouraged you to draw your own conclusions at every point.
Do your own research, Rob.
Anyway, so I think we said everything there is to be said about that.
Yeah. Rob,
just
read me the titles of the other articles in Dragon Magazine, Volume 5, Number 9, or whatever.
Let's see.
Cleanse my palate.
6 very special shields, more magic items from the mind of Elminster, is the next one.
Okay.
Gods of the Suel Pantheon. Fiery Pyramus, Nasty Beltar, and Bear-like Lairg.
Right. They were all destroyed after the Reign of Colorless Fire. We know that.
The many types of magic. Whys and hows of the spell category system.
Okay. I would read that. Sounds much better.
The role of books. Words on the ways of war, which is a review of a book called The Art of War in the Middle Ages.
Okay.
378 to 1485. Actually,
interesting definition of the Middle Ages.
It's a review of 5 books on medieval warfare. The Art of War in the Middle Ages, Warfare in Medieval Europe, 730 to 1200. Medieval Warfare by H.W. Koch. A History of Fortification from 3000 BC to AD 1700. The Medieval Castle, Life in a Fortress in Peace and War. Yeah.
Those sound fun.
Those sound fun. It's one of the many things that's amazing about these is like how like easy it was to like have a magazine and make money off of it back in the 70s and 80s. You could just be like, hey, editor, I want to write a review of 5 books about my like pet interest, which is medieval warfare. And he's like, great, here's 2 fucking pages in Dragon Magazine. Anyway, the next one
are we going to start a zine now, Rob? The Dungeon Master of None Seen?
Because it doesn't work like that anymore. Halt, who goes there? Introducing the Sentinel, an alert new NPC. Let's see. Beefing up the bureaus. Suggestions for giving agents separate skills. I think this is in the section on.
Is this for like a different? Is this for like a Traveler or something?
I think this is for a different system. I'm trying to figure out which one.
Is it for? Let's see. I'm gonna guess. Is it Traveler? Is it Paranoia? Is it the space one they made?
No, it's a Top Secret,
Okay.
which I. Let's see. Learn magic by the month. Dragon Quest trademark. Rules for studying spells. And then I think the rest of this is, no. What is a monster worth? Spelling out the system for assigning XP values. This is by Roger Moore. I assume not that Roger Moore.
10 celebrities you didn't know were gamers.
Here's, let's see, some fiction by Troy Denning. Dunkel Z. Looks funny. I don't know. And then there's an Aries section, which is the science fiction gaming section.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We stay away from that here. Okay. Well, thanks for taking me on this tour to
where I'm gonna do this again
80s.
because it is there are many decades of Dragon. Well, not many. There's many periods of Dragon magazine, and all of them are as equally delightful as the last in one way or another.
Well, thank you, Rob, for this amazing reading series. I'm already plotting out some generational times to calculate when the total wealth of millennials will finally exceed that of
right.
boomers.
That's right. All right, so now for something completely different, some TikToks.
It's so Rob, tell me your experience with D&D TikTok.
Well, you're on TikTok and you're scrolling and you're flipping and then all of a sudden you come across a guy in a robe and a wizard hat and he's making a joke about D&D, and sometimes it's a funny joke and sometimes it's not. And sometimes there's a hot girl who's making jokes about D&D, and sometimes there's not, and it's all very like confusing, and often it's pretty like self-referential, and like all of TikTok, it's extremely like fast and loud and confusing. And that's my experience with D&D TikTok.
All right. Well, I want to look at some of the
varying quality and consistency, but yeah, show me what you've got for me.
Okay, let's look at some of the top TikToks on D&D and let's see how they rank up against us and other Dungeon Master advice stuff. Let's see if we can survive. Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Here's the first one. This is entitled Stereotypes in D&D Part 1. I'm going to play it for you here.
Stereotypes in D&D. Okay, hold on. I can't find my favorite dice. Hey, sorry. I know I'm late, but I brought things to make nachos! You failed your last death save. What are your last words? Out of the humanity! All right, I'm going to try to do something a little different. I'm going to try to...
This fucking sucks.
Sure, go ahead.
Change my mind, I'm not going to do anything. That's what I thought.
So,
I got to the end of this.
I see this guy, like, just to give you some context for...
56,000 likes?
Yes, and this is, I feel like I see this man in my dreams. Sometimes in the dark of night, in a lightning flashes, and I see him standing at a crossroad. He looks like a generic YouTube dude.
He does. He's a white man, indiscriminate age, 20s, 30s, perhaps. One might say that he has soy face. Sorry, no, probably not, but maybe. He's wearing a shirt that says, "My oath hurts." I don't
actually get that joke.
I don't think I get the joke. Is this like I don't know. I'm sorry. We're never gonna get through this if we talk about everything. But like,
that's okay.
So he's got 3 stereotypes.
This is
what. One of them is the Okay, so sorry. Let's not spend too much time on this.
Yeah,
Here's what I'm going
no.
to say. This isn't funny. This is not funny. I did not laugh. I did not find even like a little bit of like, hey, that's my game. There was like nothing about this that I enjoyed. Sorry, this blew. This is like when I watch SNL. I'm like, I don't. What? Who is this for? Like, what's funny about this? Like, this is like Family Guy. It's like,
Yeah. This is the most
Hey,
obvious joke about anything that's not even really a joke.
I guess like the entertainment value comes from like the fact that he
The same as
makes-
Family Guy. It's like, oh,
makes
I recognize that.
funny faces and has sound effects and some.
I remember
Oh, boy, this was really bad.
Shore or something.
This
Okay,
was-
here's
this
another
was-
one.
This
Here's
was
one
really
that's
bad.
More relaxing, also very popular. And let's see if we can understand this. Feel free to talk over it, but here, go ahead and I'll play it on the podcast sound. All right, this one's entitled, You're a New Adventurer That Finds Themselves in Rosewood Inn.
Say, you must be that new adventurer.
Oh, I like
was
this
looking
one.
forward
Hey,
to
I've seen
the
this
day
one.
you stopped by.
This one's very soothing.
So I have a couple of things.
No, I
prepared
like this
for
one a
you.
lot.
I have one potion of mana.
I love these point of view ones. They're very like, you know,
Your first
they're very
class.
relaxing.
And I went ahead and threw
I mean,
in
this is not
a
like the type of
teleportation
content that I seek out,
Now, if you ever
but
got in a bit of a jam,
you know,
use
I could
this
see
and
the
teleport you back
value
to
in
the
this, right?
Rosewood
It's
Inn.
There's
doing
a
something.
Be
man
mindful,
with
though,
a
it
soft
has
voice
all
that
down
you
one
just
day.
heard here
But I'm sure you'll
being
make
like,
it.
hello.
And
How are you?
I wanted to bring you.
Okay, so like,
It
It
here's the
feels
thing,
like human interaction, and I
No,
can
the thing is-
understand that if you're starved for that, this is nice.
I get the bit here, right? Like I understand what's happening, right? These point of view videos are pretty common. Sometimes it's like point of view, you're talking to your crush. Point of view, like it's your first day of school, whatever. This is like it's not funny, but it's like clever. And it's like point of view, you're entering this guy's like adventuring shop and he's like, here's a thing. Again, it's not like groundbreaking, but like he's dressed up, he's put some effort into the presentation. He brings out a box, he gives you some potions. I find this pleasant, right? This isn't like the type of content I seek out. If this came across my TikTok feed, I may be like, great, talk to me, guy with soft voice. I'll pretend that I'm receiving a potion of healing from you. This I get. I get the point behind this, right? Yeah. This is interesting to me at least.
Here's one that's like a little deeper into maybe beyond surface level D&D TikTok.
Oh, let's get deep into TikTok.
Okay, this is still incredibly popular. It says like 100,000 likes. Okay, I'll start playing it.
Okay.
D&D builds to make your DM cry, part 7. Say you don't
this
really
guy's-
care about fighting. Say you want to be good at everything
He's
else.
got a vaguely
Let's go over how to
menacing
get
European
proficient in
accent,
every
I
skill
think.
by level 8. We're going to start by playing as a variant human, which gives you 1 proficiency, and then we're going to take
Okay, hang on, I have to
skill
actually pay
feat, which
attention to
gives
this.
you
What is he
3 more
talking about? Oh, he's
proficiencies.
talking about like
We're
a
gonna choose
hardcore
sages or
build. Oh,
background
I see.
because it gives us another 2 proficiencies. We're going to start by taking a level in Rogue, which will give us 4 proficiencies, and then taking another 3 levels in Bard of Lore.
I'm
which will
bored
give us a
already.
total
I
of
don't
four
care about any of
Part
this.
proficiencies as well.
7.
From that point,
this is
we're
really
going
boring.
to take a level in Cleric of Knowledge, which will give us another 2 proficiencies, and finally, we will take
He's like
2 levels
describing
in
how to get
Warlock
like a
for the
bunch of
Beguiling
skills
Influence,
at
which
level
gives
1.
us another 2
I don't-
By level
proficiencies.
8. By level
Congrats.
8.
You're
By
good
level
at
8,
everything now. I hope you're happy.
I don't care about this. I mean, all right, so he's like vaguely good looking. He's in decent shape. He like flexes his muscles at the beginning. You know what? My big, I can see his weight set in the back. Here's something. This is not about D&D TikToks. Every time I see like a TikTok, everyone has a really depressing house. Like they're all like clearly like filming from like the inside of a McMansion. Like this was the problem with the first guy too. Like they just like a very like
Right, always a very messy and depressing house.
messy.
in the
Like
suburbs.
the walls are incredibly like it's anyway. I don't know. This sucks. You get like
Also,
a bunch of skills by level 8. I mean,
It would be one of the worst. It's not an overpowered build. Having proficiency in every skill is not that helpful.
But I guess like
because
the title
of the way
is,
proficiency bonuses work, it would be bad. That would be a
I guess
bad
the-
character to build.
I guess
it would be
the title
interesting. I guess.
is that D&D builds to make your DM cry. It might make me cry because you would be very useless, and
Yeah,
also you would be able to like pass. You would pass every skill check and lose every combat, and that would make me cry. That would
You
be
would have
very
a
upsetting.
+3 in every skill, but you would still only be good at some of them because it's based on ability scores. Anyway,
137,000 of you were dumb for liking this, I guess is the thing. Okay.
All right. Here's a one of a different flavor. All right, and we're not going to mention any of the names of these people, but
no, I mean we can link them if you want to take a look. But yeah,
here you go, Rob. Let's play this next one.
I already don't like it.
Donkey from Shrek is just a bard that travels and lands with an ogre barbarian. He sings songs, has quirky one-liners. He fucked the dragon. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is what I've noticed about D&D TikTok. It's the same 4 jokes repeated over and over again, mostly about bards and thieves. I don't know what that says about us or these people. I don't choose to include myself in this.
The bards are horny thing is a funny bit. It has been completely destroyed by overuse. So shame on all of you for making that joke too many times.
Yeah, no one's allowed to make that joke anymore. This is all your fault.
I also, this is a popular TikTok format. You like shove the bathroom door open and then talk to the mirror. I don't like it. It also reminds me how sad and depressing everyone's homes are. I'm starting to judge your homes. They just look very soulless. All right. It looks like the suburbs where I grew up. I hate it. It's all like, I don't know. I know. I'm either being classist or I'm being the opposite of that. But I hate seeing the inside of people's shitty homes.
All right. Here's the next one.
This one really sucked. This is my least favorite. I like this it's even lower effort than the first one.
It's the ending with the prove me wrong too that also makes me want to die.
Also, the donkey from Shrek. When did the last Shrek movie come out, Matt? How long is it?
There's no way the person that made this TikTok was alive when the first Shrek movie came out.
Absolutely not. This person, who's not that young, absolutely was not like a conscious adult or a conscious being when Shrek came out. I'm sorry. Whatever. Why are we still talking? I mean, I'm sorry. This upset me a lot.
Shrek is such a bottom tier movie of. Anyway.
Listen, look, Matt. Somebody once told me. Anyway. All right,
yes, the world was going to roll this next TikTok.
Hey, you're looking to play a bard? That's awesome. There's a really cool cantrip I can show you. It's on page 285. It's called Vicious Mockery. This ain't just a sight to see. Fail that wisdom save, get disadvantage when you start to swing. Unleash a string of insults, 1d4 of psychic damage, please. And if they'd ever wish to flee, they can. The range is 60 feet. Stronger that I get, the cantrip damage keeps increasing. And here's my favorite part. The target need not understand me.
Rapping.
Doing a D&D rap is pretty cringy. However, I respect the like effort that went into this, and also it's like it actually is pretty instructive about Vicious Mockery, which is a cantrip that I love and is a lot of fun. Again, I'm old and like cynical, and I find this to be like pretty like cringeworthy. However, I respect the effort that went into it. It's not the worst rap I've ever heard. It's fun.
Put some effort into it. That's fine.
I would throw this guy a like, you know? This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
All
right.
Not my thing, but you know.
This is the last one I have, Rob. Just a little content warning. I think just maybe a little bit of ableism here in this one. But
okay.
So skip this if you want to, listeners. Here's another one. This one's called, because the title is important, Bad Traits to Give D&D Classes.
Bad traits to give your D&D classes.
Okay,
A barbarian who faints when he sees blood. A necromancer who can only bring back his ex-girlfriends.
Oh, now you call me back. Why don't you go fix your face before the ugliness kills me again?
A ranger who is blind. A druid who has allergies.
Oh my gosh. Stop mowing the grass. Can't even transform because I'm allergic to fur.
And a bard who uses his charisma to do TikTok
when
dances.
This guy comes up and gives his introduction to the TikTok, it's like, this is what I'm going to see right before I die. Is this guy popping into camera and just fake enthusiasm.
This has 300,000
This man is the face of D&D TikTok. He's the most popular D&D TikToker. I don't know if that's the right.
I think that's the right thing. I'm Matt, I don't even know what to say about this.
Yeah, it's just there should never be a Dungeons and Dragons like stand-up comedian or humor or this is bad.
I'm like viscerally like embarrassed for him, for me, for Dungeons and Dragons.
no one wins here. This man, I would not feel good about myself at the end of the day.
In the middle, like the joke about bringing back your ex-girlfriends, that's kind of funny, but then he does a whole bit and the joke is bad.
Right, it's like
we'll fix your face before the ugliness kills me again. Like there's a lot of I'm not actually a stand-up comedian, and I don't want to like overstate how funny I am, but I definitely think that if you have time to like write a script, which he clearly did, you could come up with a better joke than that.
Also, it's the hallmark of bad comedians to never know when to end a joke, right?
Yeah,
this kind of shit.
This went on way too long. Also,
just the ranger who is blind thing made me mad.
Yeah, that's dumb. Like, okay, maybe he couldn't use a bow, but hello, excuse me, aren't you supposed to be an expert? Use 2 weapons too, and that would absolutely be manageable with all sorts of both in-game and out of,
also,
whatever.
My favorite Samurai Jack episode is the one with the blind archers. It's so good. A blind archer is an amazing character idea.
Wait, hang on. Isn't it's also like a big part of the Daredevil TV show.
Yes.
What's his like stick, his mentor guy fires a bow, whatever. It's fucking dumb, man. It sucks on like multiple levels.
Yeah.
He's gotta be popular because he's vaguely good looking. He's not even that good looking. Is this like how low the bar is? I mean,
he's better looking than a podcaster good looking.
Right. I mean, listen, we've got a face for radio, Matt. But I'm just saying, he's also there are plenty of really good looking people on TikTok. This is not. I don't know. Maybe have you seen his other TikToks? Are there better ones?
No. These are the best ones. The majority. Here's the majority of the most popular TikToks is this guy. This is one joke, and it doesn't translate to podcasting. Is he tries to do a simple task? Let's see. Put something in the recycling bin. Get into bed. Make dinner, and then he pauses, he rolls a d20, it comes up with a 1, and he does a bad bit of physical comedy.
I see.
And those are the most popular D&D TikToks right there, is the joke of when you roll a natural 1, you fail at something. And isn't it hilarious when you might do that in a regular everyday task that we all experience?
The other thing about this is that he, at the very beginning of his videos, he does the DreamWorks face. He gets right up and does in your right in the camera. He does
DreamWorks face.
He does the DreamWorks face right at you, which I really don't like. I paused it last time while I was trying to talk to you. I was
just to feel that shiver go down your spine of is this medium has turned this person into an unperson.
So anyway, I guess unselective meandering through TikTok has clearly not shown me the top TikToks, and now I'm upset. Now I'm upset. I wish I did. I wish I could purge the last 20 minutes of my life. I wish I didn't know this.
Well, anyway, I investigated D&D TikTok so that you didn't have to, listeners. I'm sorry.
Well, now you know as well. This is just a very long way of announcing that Matt and I are starting a TikTok channel. No, we're not.
No, we will not. However, if you're a listener and you know of maybe a good TikTok channel where maybe that one guy who did the soothing in thing, where someone maybe gives you a piece of advice or encouragement, that would be nice.
If it's even vaguely interesting or soothing or share it with us. Drop it in our email or respond to us on Twitter, or we'll share it with everybody. We'll boost you because we gotta knock these soy boys out of the top ranks. We gotta do something about these guys because they're not representing D&D very well. They're not helping the stereotypes, folks. I gotta tell you.
No, they're setting us back years and years and years. Rob, this reminds me, how about we do 2 quick letters before we sign off, right?
Okay, sure.
Put something positive out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's end on a good note.
Here's a quick letter from Ed. Hi, I was just wondering if you would consider sharing out your top recommendations for D&D podcasts and blogs. Big fan of your show. Started listening a few months ago when my old high school group decided to start up again. I'm enjoying your podcast, working the way through the archives. Thanks, Ed. Rob, do you have any blogs or podcasts for D&D that you listen to or like? I have like 2 suggestions.
I have a couple. So
Okay.
I have issues with this blog in some ways and others, but one place that I go to for a lot of prep and planning and sort of specific scenario advice is the Alexandrian.
Ah, God damn it. That's my like one recommendation too.
Sorry. I just like, I do like, there are others that I go to, but like the one that I like keep coming back to that's very useful. I think it's like very, very advanced DMing, but it has a lot of like really good articles, and I don't read it regularly, but I do like have it bookmarked and I check it from time to time. So that's my one blog.
Yeah, no, that I want to second the Alexandrian. There's advice that we've talked about and hopefully always referenced when we've used their stuff, including the 3-clue rule and how to prep scenarios and not plots. I mean, so there's some good basics here too, but a lot of it is very much in the weeds, in the details about specific things, and that's fine. It's a great blog.
It is a great blog.
I can't recommend everything in it, but most of the things I've read, it's really one of the only good blogs.
There
It's
really
good.
aren't very many.
So
Sly
link in the
Flourish
show
is
notes.
okay. Sly Flourish
for
has a blog, right? Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's a bit more like basic, and I don't use it much, but occasionally it comes up.
Yeah. No, Sly Flourish, if you're looking for something a little more basic, Sly Flourish is the author of The Lazy Dungeon Master's Guide, which is just a book on how to get by with the least amount of prep possible. And it's usually generally good advice. And while sometimes I find Sly Flourish's advice a little surface level, if you're definitely a new DM, you're probably going to find all of it very useful.
There are a lot of good ideas, so that's another one I recommend.
I would also recommend, since you've put 2 out there, this is less in the general dungeon mastering it, running the game advice, is thinkdm.org. And speaking of math, bring it back to Steve Innes here. ThinkDM has a lot of good blog posts where he actually breaks down the math behind a lot of things and being like, hey, what does a +2 weapon actually mean? And if that's your cup of tea, then it's very interesting. If it's not, it's not super interesting, but he's done a lot of good survey and stuff posts. So I like ThinkDM a lot.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't have many other Dungeons and Dragons podcasts that I listen to. I have tried some, and they just really aren't my cup of tea. Maybe that makes me bad. But there are some things I listen to that I can recommend. If you haven't listened to any, definitely listen to some Critical Role, just for an example of incredible role playing. The only reason why I don't listen to more is because I just don't have the time. And I really like it. It's just, that's just hours and hours and hours and hours of content. And I hate starting something that I know I'll never finish. My other suggestion for podcasts is, and this is kind of not obscure, but Brandon Sanderson, I don't think he's on it anymore, but he has or was part of a podcast called Writing Excuses, which has like 15 seasons, where he and Dan Wells and Mary Robinette Kowal and a couple of other I would say the in the Mormon science fiction writer sphere talk pretty well about writing, but one of the things that they have a lot of episodes on world building. And so I would just poke through the archives because they have some really good advice and they're all like pretty good world builders. And this is one of the places where I started to think about world building more critically. So that's my suggestion for podcasts.
Yeah. I haven't listened to all of the podcasts because there's a billion of them, but there's a podcast network called the One Shot Podcast Network, which has a lot of short actual plays that are indeed usually one shots. So if you wanted to get a feel for a system that you haven't tried before, that's super interesting. They also have a bunch of advice podcasts. Some of them are the few that I've listened to are pretty good. I can point out to Asians Represent is one that I have enjoyed, and System Mastery, in which two older grognard guys who are a lot of fun go into out-of-print role-playing game systems, and it's quite funny.
So yeah, I hope that's helpful.
I would say my least favorite blog is, and I do not recommend it, and it's okay if you like it, it's fine, whatever, is like the most popular RPG advice blog is the Angry GM, and it sucks.
We've complained about him before. It's a bad blog. It's bad advice.
Anti-COVID guy. He's a Trump supporter. He sucks. He's bad at writing. His advice, for every good piece of advice that other people you can find other places, he gives like 10 bad pieces of advice.
I feel like we've moved well past the angry whatever stage of culture. Like there's no angry gamer, no angry
culture has moved past the need for angry Hulk critic.
It's just it's very tired. It's not interesting. It's not a good bit.
My favorite thing about these like Trump supporter, like conservative type people who complain about politically correct culture and stuff like that is the Angry GM has quit basically everything because of criticism that he could not take. He had several podcasts that people criticized, and so he quit them all. He had Twitter accounts that he quit after people criticized his odious political opinions. And so, yes, they are the biggest babies. They all always retreat to their own safe spaces, their own blog that they can control all the comments on. So I find that it's always hilarious. By the way, he was a Gamergator too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all.
Let's wrap it up, Rob.
Yeah, okay. So thanks everybody for listening. Send in your good TikToks. Send in your recommendations. I'm going to be away for a few weeks. Matt, we have got a couple bonus episodes, and we may play you one of our OG episodes from way back if you're a new listener. But
that's right. Rob is on hiatus, and so please wish him all well. Can we reveal where you are in seclusion to?
Yeah, I'll be and for reasons that I don't need to go into, but I will be in England for a while, and
he is heading to Game Workshop headquarters. Listen, please Venmo him some money. He needs to buy a grappling hook.
I'm going to invest.
Yeah.
I'm going to become a top tier Games Workshop investor. I'm getting into the Games Workshop stock trading game. No, I'll be in England. I'll be back after a month, and we'll have we got some good stuff planned. But for now, I'm on hiatus. So thanks everybody for listening. If you've got questions, thoughts, concerns, email us at dmofnone@gmail.com. Add us on Twitter at dmofnone. And stay healthy, stay safe, and keep rolling them dice.
You must understand the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to